everybody. This is Dennis Wise. I just want to give you guys a quick heads up about the introductions for your annotated bibs. So the way we have the course set up is project one will be this annotated bibs. It's basically like an information gathering process. And in project two, where your digital posters, you could be using that information that you've gathered to make an argument in basically a poster presentation format. So with that in mind, one of the things I often encounter with these annotated bibs, especially in introductions, is that people tend to use these introductions as introductions to arguments. They're trying to be persuasive. And Dallin has very kindly offered to let me use his introduction as an example. So thank you, Dallin. But for this one, our topic is green building using environmentally sustainable building techniques. And so his annotated bib is going to have 8 to 10 sources on this. And so if you look at his introduction right here, it's just by way of an example. You can actually read that at your leisure. If you want to, you can pause. But the basic gist is he's trying to make an argument in this introduction about green building. Is it useful? Is it going to be sustainable? What kind of progress is being made for this? And what I'm going to note about this introduction is that it's more about the topic that he's picked rather than the 8 to 10 sources that his annotated bib is going to be about. So in a sense, this annotated bib is actually much more modest than an actual persuasive essay. There, you have to think hard to make an argument and answer counter arguments. Here, you're simply describing your 8 to 10 sources. What do these sources have in common? What kind of strategies and techniques do they use? What kind of information do they provide? What is their basic strengths and weaknesses? So this introduction is going to be about your sources, not necessarily about your topic. And so this is probably a good example. Like I'm going through this introduction right here, and I'm not actually seeing anything about the 8 to 10 articles that he's written about. And that's probably a surefire sign, if this is happening to you, that your introduction is about your topic rather than about your sources. Your introduction should tell me about the 8 to 10 sources that you're working with. And hopefully that makes sense, that clarifies some issues for people. But this is definitely, I think, probably the number one thing I often encounter with these introductions for annotated bibs, is people tend to make them about the topics rather than about the 8 to 10 sources. So concentrate on strengths, weaknesses, likenesses, and commonalities on your sources.